So, audible now? Right. So, warm welcome. So, in this weather for all of you for the special Saturday's current affairs sessions. So, any doubts, clarifications before we getting into this week's, the last week or anything? Nothing. Then, yeah, the online too. I think the students started joining. So, good morning. I think Deepthi, put it Deepthi, Teju, good morning. Right. So, any important issues we feel of this week before I am going to deal with? What are the important issues? Huh? Japan Prime Minister was shot dead, unfortunately. Very regrettable indeed. Then, what else? Yeah, good enough. Boris resigned as what? Prime Minister of which country? Britain. Good. Then, any other? I mean, which you feel it relevance? No doubt, both have the relevance. Then else what? Four members nominated to Rajya Sabha. So, Nunna mentioned very good. So, there is another, the constitution point, no doubt, important. Then, G70 summit over, no? Last week we discussed, I think, right? G20, BRICS, all this we discussed last week. Good enough. Then, what? That's it. Regarding Andhra Pradesh, one crucial thing, even the Prime Minister visited both the states. So, whom we recollected Andhra Pradesh? Alluri Sitaramarajan. Already move వచ్చింది. What else అంటారా? Then, Telangana? Nothing. Sir. So, no doubt at the international level, the major crucial issue of the Prime Minister of Britain resigned. Right? That's the very thing. Then, when it comes to the Japan, the former Prime Minister short at both the things. Even regarding when you say this, Japan, with the former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, and if you look at the previously too, Shimbe, Shinzo also resigned. Remember, because last, of course, at that time, current affairs class we discussed. He to resign and pave the way for the new prime minister before elections, isn't it? So the question arises: why resign? And this system, what is this system is all about? You need to be aware of the few things relating before we getting into the details. Okay. Once this sort of resignation of the prime ministers arises only in which system? So we have the systems two: parliamentary and presidential system. So only in a parliamentary you will find this scenario wherein the council of ministers headed by prime minister should be the not only the member of the either house of parliament, if at all two houses, and should command majority support in the house, isn't it? Majority support. How much majority support is required to be in the seat of the power, or otherwise called to become the prime minister? How much majority? In any parliamentary system, it's the majority we call is half plus 1. What we call this half plus 1? Simple majority. Okay, and 2/3 is a special majority. Okay, so if a simple majority is sufficient. Now tell me, is it majority of the particular party or majority in the house? Quick recollection of the facts. Is it my question clear? The prime minister need to require to be, for example, you want to be prime minister, you require the majority support within your party or majority support of the house. So technically speaking, yeah, mentioned is the house. Majority support in the house is required. Okay. Once elections over, whichever party generally get the majority, that party leader will be called by the head of the state. In Indian case, president. In Britain, it is king or queen because there is a monarchy. They'll call the leader of the majority party to take the seat of power. Then prove the majority. Again, they will give the time on the floor of the house. Generally, we call recently we are hearing what is the test we call floor test. Okay, so floor test will be ordered. Then within 1 week, 1 month, they will prove their majority over. Sometimes opposition not happy, so they may introduce the motion. What is that called? No confidence motion. Sometimes government itself feel yes, we have the majority, and government itself introduce the motion, proving what is that called? Confidence motion. So last time we discussed. Okay. Sometimes no party able to get the majority, so two or more parties form a government. What is that called? Coalition. And only one party form the government with the outside support of other party. What it is? One single party, though it is not having simple majority, form the government with the outside support of other parties. That means those other parties which are supporting, they will not participate as ministers. It is a minority government. Okay, so coalition government or minority government is the scenario. You are talking about hunger. What do you mean by hung? Yeah, when no party is able to get the clear-cut majority, that is simple majority to form a government immediately after the elections. Now that scenario is going on in Israel. So within 2 years, fifth time they are going for elections. What is the parliament name of Israel? Last time we discussed, right? Huh? No. Start with K, but K is silent. Neset. Okay. And the number of examinations in recent was held that because they're very much in the news. And for the competitive students that required. Okay. So they formed the coalition government of 8 parties, and power sharing, everything was mentioned, but still not able to withstand. So again, going for elections, isn't it? So within 2 years, fifth time, they are going for elections. So that is uncertainty in a parliamentary, unstable, one of the negative features of the parliamentary system. But still, they are happy. And now my question is, who we called, which country we called the mother of parliaments? Again, it is Britain, because of course we're talking about the Britain. So Britain, we called it as the mother of parliament because you are writing the group 2 examinations, and this question was appeared once upon a time in group 2 examinations. Okay. Previous questions now and then, will you have the look or not? Yeah? Because even books are now available. Okay, try to okay, whether you purchased or not, or somebody says, okay, see that you will look into, because online also those question papers are available. So previous question papers now and then have the glance, so that you will understand which examination will have what sort of questions. Okay, whatever be the subject, and these are all the current affairs, because the present trend, especially for last 10 years and mainly last 4 5 years, almost all your 80% of the general studies paper, whatever be the State Public Service Commission or UPSC or SSC or banking, based on current affairs only. Okay, they are not asking this and that corners, but based on the current affairs, they will ask you the questions in and around it. If they ask which country is the mother of parliament, again now is very much current affairs, because they very much talked about the British parliamentary system. And why India adopted? We too adopted parliament system because we are ruled by the Britishers for a long time. Whether we like or don't like, we are addicted to or accustomed to the system, and we feel this is the best. Though with slight modifications, we too going ahead with the parliamentary system. So the British is the thing is concerned. And even this parliamentary system started in Britain. The post of prime minister is also started in Britain. Who is the first prime minister of the world itself? In the world itself, in the modern era, first prime minister in the world, of course, Britain. And this is up now and then you look at this, Kaun Banega Karodpatis, Amitabh Bachchan's quiz. So recently, okay, that question was posed to the first prime minister of the world, he said. Okay, in the world itself. That post, specific post, appeared. Before, we don't have much of democracy, right? It's all king's rules or dictatorial rules and etc. It's the British people who raised against the dictatorial tendencies of the king and forced the king to sign on a paper way back 1215. What that is called? History bit again. But again, if they post like this, is I'm sure that is a current affairs bit. Magna? Never heard it. Okay, Magna Carta, which year? Just now I told you. 1215, 1215. Okay, Magna Carta. And number of times this is a question posed in different exam, all even civils, groups, SSC, banks, or everything. Okay, 1215 Magna Carta, because that laid the foundation for the present freedoms. Okay, even the cabinet, this few people used to sit in a small cabin. So that's how the word cabinet came. So Walpole, the first prime minister, Walpole. and it goes on. Isn't it? Later too, they made it to India. Then we have it. And in civil service exams, once question posed, this the prime minister, council administered by prime minister, is responsible to. The choice is the parliament, the lower house, the upper house, to the people. That is a multiple choice they given. Okay, got the question? In a parliamentary system, the prime minister is responsible to four choices. Choice 1, parliament. Choice 2, lower house. Choice 3, upper house. Choice 4, to the people. No, none of the above. Or no, all the above. So to whom they are responsible, I think some answers we are getting from online. So Gandhar Swati mentioned lower house. Is it right? They have not used that word anything else. That's the only word, okay? Even the collective word they are not used. Of course, that is implied because council of ministers headed by prime minister. Once that wording is there in the constitution, that is implies. To whom? To the lower house or to the parliament? That means both the houses. Parliament implies that is lower house and upper house, right? Or any other house other than nothing, right? To the so whenever the PM responsible to lower house, not to the PM or council of ministers. They are collectively, individually, everything. Even individually, the ministers are responsible to the lower house. In general, to the parliament, but specially to the lower house, because lower house has the power to remove them, not the upper house. Assume if one minister was resigned, no problem. If he was removed by lower house, entire ministry has to resign. That is a collective responsibility, right? Now my question is, what is the lower house name of British Parliament? Sure? House of Commons. House of Representative is the lower house of House of Representative. Is the lower house of which country? That's of America. American Parliament is called Congress. What is the upper house of America? Senate. Upper house of Britain? House of Lords. Okay, because even that is regular exam questions for you, like Israel Parliament name, Japan Parliament name, right? Okay, and what is the once I think in civils or books and civils only, the English name for Rajya Sabha, English version of Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha is upper house of Indian Parliament. What is the English name? Rajya Sabha is Hindi word. Council of States. English name is Council of States. Lok Sabha, House of People. Okay, that is the House of People. Okay, House of People, Council of States, and has to be very careful because there are the few things once you are able to recollect, always advisable, and even in the House of Lords, upper house, once upon a time very respectable, and we call them elders, and those members used to take care of the British affairs in other countries. Even no, our Governor General, who is the last Governor General of British India, Lord. Why you are using the word Lord? దేవుడా ఏమను? All Governor General we use the word Lord, no? Why? Hmm? Why? Because they are the members of House of Lords. So simple. Okay? As they are the members of House of Lords is the upper house of British Parliament. And every member, because that is the status symbol for them. In Britain, being the member of the House of Lords, the status. Okay, like Padma like this, you all put it and take its slots. Like that, the member. And that's a permanent, like in India, Rajya Sabha membership is fixed. Okay, though Rajya Sabha is a permanent house, members' tenure is only 6 years. Whether elected or nominated, it is the same, right? Whereas Britain is not the case. Once appointed to the House of Lords, that membership is forever. Okay, lifetime till they die, it will be. Okay, that's the thing. As because of that, that's considered as the status symbol. Okay, and they use that designation before that. Okay, so that's the few things immediately you have to recollect at this point. Then one more question regarding British and India link up arises. Who the Prime Minister of Britain when India got independence? Number of times this appeared, even your group examinations. Several groups in one time or another this question posed. Who was the Prime Minister of Britain when India got independence? Yeah, good. Clement Attlee. He was the British Prime Minister when India got independence. Okay. And now the Prime Minister resigned. Possibility that somebody going to be the Prime Minister. Right? And one possibility is that the Indian origin person may become, because right now we don't know the thing is concerned, may possibility. What is that name, if at all? Rishi. Possibility, present finance minister. So, if at all that will be, Indian links to the British Parliament questions may be posed. Okay, how is an Indian become the Prime Minister of some other country? Is it possible? Maybe they are Indian origin, not Indians. They are PIOs, not NRIs. Right? So they are the citizen of that country. So citizenship rules and regulations are there for every country. Based on what? Either just soli or just sanguineous. Just soli means the place of birth, where you born. If you can acquire citizenship. Just sanguineous, the blood relationship. Much better. Okay, citizenship chapter is over, right? Just sanguineous is blood relationship. Whatever your parents, that will be. So in most of the countries, the rule like America, only the natural citizen should be the head of the state or head of the government. Natural citizen means either acquired, either be a citizen of just solely or just sanguineous, place of birth or blood relations. Otherwise, naturalized, that means you acquired. Initially, you are Indian citizen, later you been to America, take the green card and everything and acquired. That is a naturalized. Britain also same thing. Every country has the concept of naturalized. And most of the countries, this provision is existing. That only natural citizen should be. And the British Constitution is talking about what? Remember, there is no British Constitution. Britain is the only country in the world which is not having its own constitution. It's called as unwritten constitution. It's the best example for unwritten. Okay. All other constitutions are written, and American Constitution is the first written constitution in the world. Okay. That means no specific body, but British helped everybody to frame the constitution. Right? And Canada Constitution is the gift of Britain. And India, before we got independence, cabinet mission, right, facilitated establishment of constitutional assembly to prepare its own constitution. So though for other countries they are doing, but they are not doing themselves. And so far there is no specific, this is the British Constitution. Everything is based on customs and traditions is the one is concerned. So there's no hard and bound rule, but right now the one of the customs and traditions here is that it is a natural citizen. So far, naturalized citizens never became it. Even if the rishi became, is a natural. Okay, he born and brought, everything is there. Okay, there's nothing to do with that. Though once upon a time they are of origin perhaps, but it has nothing to do. So that question may not arise now there. But if at all the person became, the possibility that is that any Indian previously, of course, they are there in the British Parliament, who was the first Indian became the member of British Parliament. Rishi, yeah, they meant that play good. Few questions are arising in online. Good enough. Laparna, Ashma, Vishmi, right. Yeah. Who is the first Indian became, yeah, Dadabhai Nauroji is the first Indian became the member of British Parliament. House of Commons or House of Lords? Is elected. Elected means House of Commons. At that time, elected from a Liberal Party. There are two parties in Britain. Only two parties. It's called, what is it called? Two party system? Bi-party, right? Only two parties. What are the two parties? Conservative and present is Labour. Before we used to have Liberal. Now this Liberal Party is not existing there. Okay? Labour Party. Right now. Even Clement Attlee from Labour Party. Now Boris from Conservative Party. At that time, Dadabhai Nauroji get elected from Liberal Party. Just 4 votes majority is able to win. So in a democracy, winning is the thing. Jo hi jeeta, wo hi sikandar. Finally, the winning that matters, how many votes is immediate. And he get elected at the time. And in what way you will recollect Dadabhai Nauroji in other points, in a freedom movement or anything else? He is a grand old man of India. Good. What are the other bits? He has written a wonderful book. Poverty, un-British rule in India. Okay, poverty, UN, un-British rule in India. And in that book, he propounded a theory. What is that called? Which stipulates that how our resources, natural resources especially, moving away from India to Britain. Drain theory, good. Okay, drain theory is propounded. Good. Then what are other bits of Dadabhai Nauroji? He is the first Indian who collected what? National income statistics. Now you're in economics, right? Your national income, GNP, GDP, NNP, all these things you are talking about. And India is the first, okay, who initiated to collect the national income statistics. And how many times he became the president of Indian National Congress? 3 times. He's the only one who became member for 3 times, and most of them get elected unopposed. Okay, so like this, the Dadabhai Nauroji, okay, the facts you have to recollect. Anyway, even Indian National Congress started when 1885, but he started Indian Association long back 1950s itself, 1850s itself, isn't it? So even first association in India was for Indians started by him only. Okay, so like this, his contribution is also there. Possibility of asking that questions. Similarly, in 1927, when Simon Commission was appointed, okay, and we opposed Simon Commission. Simon, go back. Why? Yeah, we dubbed it as White Commission. Though 4 Indians at the time, they are there, but they are not included. So like this, when the issues comes up, any question may be interlinked. Okay, you may And why I'm taking all this thing is there's a way you have to recollect the things, and that is a competitive approach. Okay, the few years back something how to read this competitive world, and this is the only way of doing it. Don't adopt LKG UKG approach. Unfortunately, you are doing that. What is LKG UKG approach? ABCD onwards, chapter 1, 2, 3, 4 onwards, reading top to bottom. Huh? And ending questions are there, mugging up the questions, mugging the answers. That's what, of course, they have to do that at that age. And they have to do that. There's no option there. But now it is not the case for you. So your reading, your practice should be all random. Okay? The random practice is required. Just open a book, whatever comes it, read. Then go back. So assume 50th page came, then 5th page came, 90 page came. Just read like this. And read come whatever come across. It may be history, it may be geography, it may be science and technology, anything. And the best way why everybody suggested read the newspaper is for this purpose. Don't read the newspaper like a novel. Okay? Read the newspaper from the competitive point of view. That means now single issue, how many bits we recollected? Around 20 plus. This is a revision over for you. So you need to pour the questions like this, and once you're able to answer these things, wherever, okay, for everything it may not be possible to get so many things. Now you are recollecting all the subjects, including the polity or history. Okay, two things linking with British activity to India. Even if you dig deeper into it, it is more. Okay, that's it. And once you adopted this thing, then that is called the competitive approach. Then only you will recollect at the time of examination. Okay, because I think last class I told you a number of times students came, sir, at the time of exam, after coming out from the classroom, I recollected answer. No? Right? What you will do? Maybe put yourself, okay? Nothing else. So you have to recollect at that point of time. So for that, revision, 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 revision. So repetition is an infallible technique of memory. There is no alternative for that. Okay? And read not 1, 2, 3 times. Don't count it. It should be of 100 times. Okay? 100 times what you are doing? Glancing. Reading with your eyes, not with your mind. Then naturally your speed and everything will go faster and faster, super faster, hyper faster. Okay? Glancing is sufficient. Number of times. So you need to be more familiar. And prelims passing secret is that once you are familiar, if I ask you, you may not able to answer it, but the moment you look at the choice, wonderfully you can do so. Okay, so take care of this. So any doubts? Yeah, calculated the per capita income too. So in theory, he only did it. Any doubts about Boris? So he lasted just for 3 years. So it is not that you lost the majority in the parliament, but it's the party. Okay, party feel that is not fit. So he is mishandling both the COVID scenario as well as the things after Brexit. Brexit is Britain exit. BREXIT. Britain exit from where? European Union. Now, how many countries in European Union? 27. Previously, 28. So, number of times we discussed that, right? I believe that. So, those are the two crucial points on this, then apart from others. Then, so next come to the Shinzo Abe. So, let's hope that his soul rest in peace. And today, even the government of India announced a state of mourning for the women. And recently, Shinobu is in the news, and we discussed, okay, few months back, the issue because he is the one who received the Padma Vibhushan too. Padma Vibhushan is an Indian award or world award? Indian civilian or military? Civilian. Is it a top? Next to the, right? Bharat Ratna is highest civilian award. Next to is, and generally it's awarded to Indians, but now and then to the persons who contributed to the Indian development and those who we call as the well-wishers of India to be assigned. And once we honored him last year itself, right? So 2021, once we honored, that clearly shows that his contribution to India is a lot. Can you recollect? Because the Prime Minister, if I remember correctly, around 2005 or so, a longest serving Prime Minister of Japan. Okay, and to be frank enough, I don't know the name of the present Prime Minister. Okay, from 2007. Okay, uh, very much we remembered him as this, and from that onwards, only Abe name is thing, Abenomics and everything, and find it difficult to replace, okay, wording with anything, somebody's as such. And his major contribution vis-a-vis with India, once you are now speed trains, okay, what do we call? Uh, Bullet trains is the concept we got from him, and it's a Japan which contributed. Then what else? Quad, now the quadrilateral security dialogue initiated by Japan. Okay, now that we have the Quad, Japan, India with America and Australia, because of initiative of Abe, no doubt it is. Then, in a way, of course, he was criticized there, but he has given a bit of military look to the Japan. Till then, Japan was deprived of anything else. Of course, America assured its security, but the Abe followed a bit of aggressive policy. And regarding India, he has become instrumental in signing the India-Japan nuclear deal also. So Japan recognized India as a nuclear power, and we have the nuclear agreement. Okay, like America we have, and some other countries, and Japan too we have the things. Even Delhi Metro, the contribution of Japanese is very much, and basis and thing, and Arunachal Pradesh. So when you want to lay down the road as a difficult terrain, and we put everybody heads up, not possible to lay the road. When Chinese side they are wonderfully doing, and we are not able to do that, and it become a tougher job for India to lay the road itself because of the difficulty terrain. And they came forward, and irrespective of the Chinese opposition, we are able to do it, and because of his commitment. Okay, and he did China also at that point, ready to confront China for sake of India, just laying the road. Okay, so like this, with when you say this way, is very much in a way. So unfortunately, we'll show that in a way. So the few points that you may recollect, so that the issues will be. Then of course in economics you'll heard those things. Abenomics. What is this abenomics? Okay. Abe economics for everything, right? Abenomics they call it, because once you put forward anything new, anything aggressive, anything initiative, naturally it was named after the person, and similarly it will be on him. Anyway, go through that. Okay, once we go through it, it will be more. Okay, other part. Then there's another issue relating to Russia, India-Russia relations is concerned. Now, because of the Ukraine war, it's getting strengthened and strengthened. One of the way is our exports, imports, vis-a-vis with the trade is concerned, is going leaps and bounds. So we are exporting as well as importing, and especially oil importing is concerned. And now we are doing a lot. From where, how you are doing, what is the transit route? That's also important. Most of the transit routes are controlled by Western powers. Now, because of the sanctions imposed by either America or European countries, difficult to have that transit. So we find a transit route, and maybe that's important for you. That is INSTC. So this is the transit route which you are working on this. INSTC. Are you able to see this? I don't know because it is too small. It looks like. So this is the full form you have to remember. Then what the country that is passing on and benefit. That's enough. Okay, you're not getting into in detail. For the mains point of view, know that they are having a lot of geopolitical and geoeconomic significance. But the prelims point of view, just remember this. So what is INSTC? International. Hmm. Okay. So international. This IN is international or I only international? I only. N for north, S for south. Then transportation corridor. Okay. So this is international. This is north. This is south. This is transport. This is the corridor. So Russia to India via which country? Iran. Okay, that's the important thing. So this is via Iran. And Iran too, facing the wrath of America and European countries. Even it's facing the sanction threat. Unfortunately, with Iran, India had the very wonderful relation from long time. Though Modi has undone number of things, but so far, vis-a-vis the international relations is concerned, and this approach is continuing with Iran and Russia. So we have the thing. Even we use the Iran as a via point regarding establishing our relation with Afghanistan. And the Pakistan is not allowing us to go on road to Afghanistan. Okay, the GT road is there. They closed it. What is the GT road? Grand Trunk Road. Who established? Sher Shah Suri, right? Long time it is. So we used to have long back on this. So that we have to think. Now via port of Iran. What is that port? Chabahar Port. So Chabahar Port is an agreement at the time between India, Iran, and Afghanistan. The trilateral agreement, and India developed a Chabahar port terminals. Okay, though Chabahar port and innumerable terminals are there. So the few terminals we developed and used initially, or our major purpose at the time is to transport to the Afghanistan. Then at the same time, on the Afghanistan, next Afghanistan, you will find Central Asian countries like Alistan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, right? All Istans are there. Once upon a time, they are the part of USSR. Now the Russia. So this INSTC will facilitate not only our transit to this, even useful for Central Asian countries. Okay, CAR they call CAR, Central Asian region countries. So even Russia will have an advantage. Now we are what you call, even the road and rail is there. Chabahar port, from the port, the Gujarat, right, or to the Mumbai, you will get the things. Then from Iran to Russia, it is road and rail. Okay. So almost all 60 to 70% of the road was in a proper structure right now. The remaining is there. Now they are laying the roads, okay, on faster mode, and the train connectivity is also is there already, and they are upgrading and delivering the things done. And we are getting through the iron estates. So because no doubt we are getting how also is important. Okay, the route, because other routes are controlled by western powers, and this is a route. It is even from Saudi Arabia, if you want to get it, that Suez Canal is there. Suez Canal is again under the control of the western powers. So this is the only route which we can do it, and we are able to. So this you can remember, right? Any doubt on this? Right now, Chabahar port is not under INSTC, but now it requested, India requested recently Iran to make under it. So let us see this. Okay, anyhow, that is going to be good. And in the immediate examination, we have now 2021, the trade, bilateral trade between India and Russia stood at $13.6 billion. So nearly 1 lakh crores. Okay, that comes to it. Rarely they will ask you the statistics, but that point is enough for you. So any doubt? Soha Nunna mentioned already. International North-South Transit Corridor. Sher Shah. Okay. Then back to national. So one of the issue is the center stops. So it's the central government that stops the work on Rajasthan Canal project. That's all our headlines. So here one issue, canal irrigation, facility, all the things is there. So canal for the purpose of water, right? The water flow. So that implies you are storing a dam. Generally, who will do that? Water is the subject of state or central or unitary? I mean, sorry, states of is in the state list or concurrent list or union list. Hmm? Water is the state. Okay. Any dams, if you say this, right? Like Telangana, you are saying, Andhra is saying, everything is done by the state government. Only what central government will do, they will fund it or they will recognize it. Okay, like Polavaram project was recognized as national project. So, but whereas Kaleshwaram had to recognize. That's a criticism. Okay, they are receiving this, and why you are not recognizing and sanctioning. So once recognized, the funding process. All these activities. And any river water issues. Okay, sharing by two or more states, that is but natural. And if any disputes arises, central government will step in, act as a mediator and try to solve it. Then we have tribunals, water tribunals. Okay, regularly day-to-day issues will take care by them. And now why center stopped? So center always help it, right? It never stops. Now here the center stopped. Okay. So because of the objections raised by the neighboring states. And unfortunately it took the political turn because the Rajasthan ruled by a Congress led, whereas the Madhya Pradesh led by BJP led. So they taken that instead of solving amicably and beneficial to all the things, and as it is put off, that become a politically controversial. So there are the few bets you can make it for you. Okay. So what is that proposed Eastern Rajasthan Canal? Okay, project simply called ERCP, Eastern Rajasthan Canal. That's the thing is concerned. So it is interlinking three rivers. Okay. And though it is demanding, it didn't get the things. And objections raised by the Madhya Pradesh. Even this is water, just a state subject. Which schedule contains this list? How many schedules in Indian Constitution? 12. One of the schedule contains this union state concurrent list. Seventh schedule. How many subjects in state? Hmm? How many subjects in state list? 47 is in concurrent list. 47 plus 5. Latter 5 was transferred from state to concurrent. It became 52. Though no 48, 49. In between they added. How many state? How many union? 97 plus 3. Okay. When you say 97, actual numbering is there. In between added. So including additions, it may count 100, but otherwise it is 97. And state 66, 66 for state minus 5. Okay, those 5 were shifted to concurrent list. So right now 61. So 66. You have to read the question very carefully while answering this sort of issues. So those things, if you are able to recollect, sufficient. And sometimes you may apply this sort of water disputes between Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, Telangana and other neighboring states, Andhra and other neighboring states, and any Krishna water tribunal issues. Okay. So if anything is there, just recollect and put it. And still find it, go back to our current affairs notes, is there everything. Okay. Last time we discussed very elaborately about the Krishna water issues. Krishna Godavari, both in Telangana, Andhra. Then one more issue just now, of course, is nominated members. So the few members were nominated to Rajya Sabha. So when you say this parliament, you may have elected, nominated. Any other criteria? Hmm? Any other criteria other than elected, nominated? Any hereditary? Nothing like this, right? So Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, right? When you're talking about the parliament, you have to do Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, both constituted. Indian parliament means apart from these two, we'll add president also. All this together we call the parliament, right? President is an integral part of Indian parliament. Anyhow, keep the president aside right now. So elected, nominated. Do you find elected, nominated in both houses, or only in Lok Sabha, or only in Rajya Sabha? Okay, is question confusing? So Lok Sabha, do you find both elected and nominated, or only elected? Hmm? So Lok Sabha, only elected, no nominated. Previously, we have two Anglo Indians used to get nominated. Now, Anglo Indians are not there. Why? Who is an Anglo-Indian? European origin, but a citizen of India. Okay, because number of once the Britishers left, most of the Europeans are they too left, but still few stay back here. So to give them the representation, we have this criteria, and 2 seats for the Lok Sabha we used to assign to Anglo-Indians, but now we have done away with. So how many members elected? 543 and 2, total 545. Now what is the strength? So this nomination criteria was done away with. How? They are not extended. Okay. Any reservations, okay, is for a period of 10 years. After 10 years, if you extend, all right. If you don't extend, automatically that lapse. And 2020, so when they are not extended, the 10 years is over. So they end the matter. From 21 onwards, you don't have the issue. Even SC, ST reservation also, if you want to undo that, if you don't extend after 10 years, they end the matter. No need to have any separate amendment to undo that. Of course, in between, if you want to do, you have to do that. If you don't extend, they end the matter. Naturally, it died. Okay. So now, recently one examination, because I look at it, members, okay, of Lok Sabha, members of Rajya Sabha, specifically the total members. All the textbooks contain 545. Now, as 2 was done away with, it's only 543, not 545. So only this figure you have to keep in mind. So no nominated criteria vis-a-vis with local. So this point you have to keep in mind. Now, no nomination now. Whereas for Rajya Sabha, you will have the both, right? And how many are elected? How many are nominated? So 12 to Rajya Sabha and here 238. Altogether 250. Okay. How Rajya Sabha members are elected? Who will elect? There's indirect election, right? Not directly elected by the people. Okay, MLAs, state MLAs elects the Rajya Sabha members. Every state was allocated seats based on proportional representation, that is population of the state members. And others are nominated. These 12 are nominated. Good. And one civil service, the question posed, which of the following criteria was stipulated by the Constitution for nominating members to Rajya Sabha? What is the criteria? I mean, for example, Nobel Prizes in these awards, they will get it. Like this, no? Is there any criteria or the president can nominate anybody as he likes? Hmm? Hmm? Is there any criteria? Which article of the Constitution talking about that? Composition of Rajya Sabha. What is the English name of Rajya Sabha? Just now we discussed. Council of States. So, Article 80 is talking about this elected and nominated members of the Rajya Sabha, and clause 3 talking about nominated criteria, and they put forward 4 issues: literature, science, literature, arts, science, and social service. Okay, so these are things specified. In this, of course, this is clause 3 of 80 specifically talking about. So, when Rajya Sabha was first constituted, 1952, like Lok Sabha, this is also the similar issues. From when? Because having the two houses is bicameralism, right? We call this as a bicameral system, having two houses. From when in India we have bicameral system? So long back, British India time, 1919, 1919. Okay, easy to remember also. Two. Okay, 19 repeated twice. So bicameralism, 1919 Government of India Act is popularly called as Montague-Chelmsford reforms. And now, oh, Ilayaraja, P.T. Usha, na? Then who else? Yeah, Vijayendra Prasad and Virendra Hegde, spiritual leader. Okay, they get nominated. P.T. Usha for athlete, right? Of course, actually, one of the reasons that we operate is in their respective field, they will contribute something. But unfortunately, they are considering just a status symbol. They are not at all even appearing or coming to the parliament session. And Sachin Tendulkar is the best example. Not even out of his 6 years of tenure, not in a single day. I think I am doubtful, okay, whether he participated in any discussions or not. Huh? Okay, I don't know whether he raised the questions or not, I don't know, but hardly. And last nomination criteria, it became controversial because one of the retired Chief Justice of Supreme Court was nominated to Rajya Sabha. Who? Ranjan Gogoi was nominated to Rajya Sabha. How is a non-political and neutral person supposed to be? Okay, become now political. Okay, nominated is, though it's not a political post, but if you've done some favors, something like that, then only will become, otherwise no. That's what unfortunately the criteria. But constitution stipulate entirely different. So reality may be different, but as per the constitution, anybody can. So this an issue which you have to keep in mind. Okay. Then another constitutional issue relating to recently the union government extended the tenure of the commission to examine, okay, subcategorization of OBC. Okay, so OBC, other backward class reservations are existing after the Mandal Commission for references. 27%. In this, innumerable castes are there, and few persons are highly developed and few are not. To see that justice will be done, like in the state level, we have the BC, A, B, C, D categories. Similarly, categorization we want to do at the national level. Then how to go ahead with the categorization? So for that, a commission was appointed. That categorization was headed by Justice G. Rohini. So it's going on extended and extended and extended. From 2017 onwards, the commission was extended under the article. Which article? Article 340 Constitution. Okay, the issue. So this is this side. Here you may quickly recollect the facts also about reservation policy. So when the constitution came into force, do we have reservations? No. It's not there when the constitution came into force. Very first amendment added the reservations to the constitution. 1951. So Article 15 and 16 are there already. So class 54 was added to it, 15.4 and 16.4, providing the reservations. Reservations to whom? SC, STs only. That is actually, if you talked about Article 15 and Article 16, they said no, no discrimination. However, this 15.4, 16.4, these two were added by very first constitutional amendment, 1951. At the time, even Parliament was not constituted. And who is acting as a provisional Parliament? Constituent Assembly itself is acting as a provisional Parliament. And that only made reservations. And reservations are provided for SEBCs. Socially, E stands for educational, not economical. Economic criteria is not taken. Keeping the peculiar situations of India, the caste system was taken as a criteria. Because hitherto few castes were they're oppressed, suppressed, and depressed. That's what we call it. The thing is concerned. As the social injustice happened hitherto, to render the helping hand and see that the social justice will be done, we have undertaken this task. So identifying SC, ST became very easy. Other than SC, ST, who are the other backward classes? OBC means other backward. Already SC, ST are backward, decided. Who are the other backward classes? For that, a commission was appointed. What is the first commission that was appointed? 1953, Kalekar Committee. But unfortunately, it has not seen the day of the light. The report was not seen. Later, a Mandal Commission was appointed. Right? Then, based on the Mandal Commission report, you have the reservations. Right? So, 1979, you have this Mandal Commission. So, 27% reservation was assigned at that time. And this, once they challenged the court of law, famously called in the Sahana case or Mandal Commission case, there they included a concept called creamy layer. Okay. What is this creamy layer? So, already some sections of the people within this OBC, because based on the caste, already well developed. So, to keep this well developed sections from the benefit of reservations, a concept of creamy layer came. So, the better off sections will be deprived of these benefits. Like the person become an IAS officer, IPS officer. What is the need for their children? He will take care, right? So let you provide her. Similarly, income was taken as a criteria. Previously 6 lakhs, now increased to 8 lakhs. Annual income. If it is less than that, then only they are eligible. After that, that. So there's a criteria taken, and to avail the benefits, it will be okay. So a creamy layer concept. Is it only for OBC or SC ST also? Only for OBC, not for SC ST right now. Though the case is still filed in Supreme Court, that to come up with, and it is not accepted on this issue. But because it's a political decision, Supreme Court says at the time itself advisable to take the political decision on this issue. So it is that to make the things. Then previously you have SC ST separate. Together you used to have the commission. Later, SC commission came separately and ST commission. So last time we discussed this constitutional, extra constitutional bodies. Okay, when you're talking about all the thing is concerned. So now that we have this, then a backward class commission too came it up. So 2018, by 102nd Constitutional Amendment. This provided a constitutional status to National Commission for Backward Classes. Before it's only a statutory, now it became a constitutional body. And remember this OBC, SC, ST based on the caste. Now you have the economic criteria, EWS reservation, economically weaker section. Which amendment has provided economically weaker section? 103. So next to 102, 103. Okay. How much reservation is? 10%, right? So that point you have to keep in mind. So if at all on this commission, article 338A is talking about SC/ST commissions. Okay. And once the OBC list and everything came, this 102nd Constitutional Amendment added 242A, similarly 33B. That's sorry, 338 it is. Here they mentioned 338B, 338, 342A. And this again revised, though the president is authorized, now assigned to the states to decide which caste. So finally president will do that, but everything is done by the states now. So there are a few facts in this case you may recollect the issue. So any doubts on this reservation criteria? Because I'm not going to so in depth, okay, the quality you may have, but let you recollect the issues quickly on this. And these two articles, 15.4, 16.4, regularly asked examination. Of course, 15.5, 15.6, now EWS is 15 clause 6, 16 clause 6 talking about this, and 5 is regarding promotions. And articles are very important, fundamental rights related and this clause related, and amendments 102, 103, and very first amendment. Then the commissions, now the Rohini Commission, Mandal Commission, Kalekar Commission, like this. Okay, try to recollect and then come to another the statue. Okay, the small tidbits. Okay, in this issue, a statue of peace was again unveiled in Srinagar. Is a statue of whom? Ramanujacharya. So we have the Statue of Unity, where Gujarat. Whose statue? Then Statue of Equality, Hyderabad only. Whose statue? Ramanujacharya. Now there, Srinagar, Statue of Peace. Where is Statue of Liberty? So not in India. That's there. Which country? So liberty, equality, fraternity is yet to come. Maybe fraternity, instead use the word peace. So liberty, equality, fraternity, slogans of which revolution? In which year French Revolution? World history, 1789. Where you will find this word liberty, equality in the Constitution preamble is there. Right. So quickly, once you recollect, that's enough. Then another, the Odisha woman gets a forest in her name. So it's a very peculiar scenario. So is a forest they call Bonai Forest division have this name, the small patch of forest after whom daily wager. Okay, and she is not even any celebrity or anything else. She's just a daily wager, and is named after the Sarojini. And so 2 years she worked and see that every plant get the life. and because of that, okay, though there is a government program as part of reforestation, and she had taken a personal care, and what she did is water, right? That's very crucial, watering the plants. And because of that special care she had taken, they were used to recognize the services and name after the small patch on her name. And no doubt that itself is concerned, because every work you did it at one point or another, possibility of getting recognized, and that too recognized by the government authorities. That is one aspect. And secondly, not any celebrity in this, just recognize service as a daily wager is another issue. So which state it is? Odisha. Then of course, regarding Allur Sita Ramaraju, 125th birth anniversary celebrations, as the Prime Minister attended the things. So a bronze statue was made, a 30 feet bronze statue on this issue. So try to recollect on the Chintapalli. Okay, generally this is very famous. The issue is concerned. They raided the police station and taken the weapons and started fighting all these issues. So 2022 has all happened for this concern. Okay, and of course other factors, so I'm not discussing, but advisable to know about this, and who are appearing for APPSC. So you have to go depth about the facts. Then one more thing is capstone. This is NASA satellite. As the thing is concerned, is a microwave oven sized cube sat. Okay. Then of course, yeah, the Miss India 2022, Srini Shetty of Karnataka. Okay. Then runner up Rubal Shkab. Okay. Then finally, I think this is the most important and a motivating issue also for you. 94-year-old athlete. Okay, this the thing is concerned. So now even the 14 years, 24 years, you are less between here, we find it difficult to okay take the steps and come up or go down. Okay, and Bhagwani Devi gold medal in this 100-meter race. So how many of you will run with her? Huh? World Masters Athletic Championship 2020 in Tampere, Finland. Okay, so no doubt that is a more than okay a competitive question, a motivating factor. If okay, in every Japanese school they used to mention a caption: if somebody did, you too can. Okay, somebody achieved it, but means you too can, because the path was paved already. Only thing is you have to walk it. On our internal, somebody recently, now every year civil services posts are coming down. It is. How many posts are there? Assume it there are only 100 posts. 100% will be there. Then you should be within that 100. There end the matter. Right? So once it is concerned, please bothered, and your preparation, your okay, your approach, your what you call skill development should be in tune with it. And now present examinations started focusing on awareness of skills. Okay, so skill based testing rather than just a knowledge recollection. So keep that in mind, and prepare well and practice, that matters. And she is able to do that. Okay, the continuous practice and patience and perseverance is very crucial to achieve any goal. Okay, so go through those things. Right? So any other doubts, clarifications before we signing off for today? Okay. Right. Thank you very much. So meet you next week.